There's an abandoned village in the icy tundra south of the Wintertodt. Identified on the map simply as Settlement Ruins, this place is far more interesting and far stranger than it might at first seem. A group of stone brick houses are slowly crumbling in the frozen wind. Only monsters live here now. Ice wolves guard the northern entrance, and ice giants and spiders prowl what might have once been a village square. The town's original inhabitants can still be seen, though they have all been frozen solid. There are signs that might suggest that this settlement originally served a military purpose rather than civilian. The frozen people here are identified as frozen warriors, and one of the crates has been split open, revealing a cannonball inside. Considering the people's frozen remains and the presence of ice elemental enemies in the ruin, it's possible that this settlement was destroyed over 1,000 years ago during the Long Winter, when the nearby Wintertodt ravaged the northern lands of Kurend before it was driven back into its prison. This would neatly explain not only the history of the settlement ruins, but their purpose today, to tell the story of the Wintertodt, a scar from a great battle many centuries ago. But there is more to this place. First, up on the southern hill overlooking the settlement, is this, a standing stone marked with the symbol of a shell. This is identical to the stones in this walled enclosure north of Falador, which currently serve no purpose. In RuneScape 3's lore, this place is revealed to be the ritual site where Guthix created the balance elemental, but currently in OldSchool, its history has not yet been revealed. Still, it's very strange that another of these standing stones can be found here, just outside of the settlement ruins in Kurend, the only other stone of its kind in the game. But it gets stranger. North of the settlement, in a small clearing, is this, a purple symbol printed in the snow. This appears to be the symbol of Zaros, the Empty Lord, the ancient god of darkness whose empire once ruled over most of Misthalin, Asgarnia, Forinthry, and Mauritania. Outside of Vardorvis, an executioner for the Zerosian Empire who travelled to Zia in search of the dwarf Yonrith Lovacane, there is very little history involving Zaros on this continent, making the appearance of his symbol here, just north of an abandoned icy ruin, even more mysterious. Just west of this Zerosian emblem is this, a strange circular mound surrounded by a ring of trees. Despite it being found in a clearing at the end of a path through the mountains, this area is currently inaccessible, but it's certainly odd. The settlement ruins are a fantastic example of something that seems to have a simple answer, a frozen ruin in the shadow of the icy Wintertodt, hiding a deeper mystery, with strange symbols and ritual markers that seem to hint at a more complicated and more ominous story. As for what that story is, your guess is as good as mine. In the northeast corner of the wilderness, there's the Blighted Volcano, where adventurers can form odium and malediction wards in the flames. But just beyond it, on the northern shore, is something quite strange. A shipwreck. A broken ruin on the blackened soil. This shipwreck is odd for a few reasons. First, it's inaccessible to the adventurer. Unlike the pirate's shipwreck to the west, it serves no purpose. It's possible to get close and walk on these tiles on this outcrop, which interestingly takes you into level 56 wilderness, the deepest point you can reach. But it's not possible to enter the ship itself. Second, this ship is unlike anything else seen in Gielinor. Its design is unique, with an ornate scrollwork on the bow, and it seems to be made entirely from some sort of metal. Clearly, its builders were quite technologically advanced. Even the wheel is wrought from this grey metal, as are the strange cannons that lie in ruins on its deck. In fact, it's possible that these two pole-like structures aren't broken masts, but funnels from steam engines. Charred skeletons surround the shipwreck, presumably the long-dead remains of its crew. Whether they died to the violent eruptions of the nearby volcano, or were already dying by the time they reached the shore, is unclear. But judging by how close they are found to this mysterious wreck, they didn't last long. This shipwreck has fascinated me for years. It seems to be telling a story of unknown travellers from an unknown land. Perhaps one day this area will be expanded upon and we'll learn more about this strange ship and where it came from, but as for now, it remains a mystery. Another mystery is the Proudspire, Varlamore's tallest mountain. This snowy peak is incredibly significant to the people that live nearby. It was the site of the Battle of the Proudspire long ago. At the very highest point is a stone obelisk, with figures carved into its faces, and 4 hands reaching up from the ground around it. According to Yelotli, Teoki of Ralos, the Proudspire obelisk is one of their most precious holy sites, built by those who wandered these lands before we did. This refers to the Old Ones, the original inhabitants of Varlamore and the Kabos lowlands, an ancient, powerful people who faced extinction during the God Wars. If the adventurer asks Yelotli what the obelisk is for, he replies, "That is something we sadly don't know. It is why the obelisk is especially important to those who serve Ranul. It is a reminder of the importance in ensuring knowledge is preserved." So, in a way, the obelisk stands as a monument to mystery itself, its original meaning forgotten. It now symbolises the importance of preserving knowledge. Curiously, purple corruption appears to be leaking out of a hole at the obelisk's base. What this means is unknown. In fact, the only reason to visit this place at all is for a clue scroll step. But I'd wager that this mystery is guaranteed to be answered at some point in the future. It's too important a landmark, with too enticing a mystery, to remain unexplained. Perhaps, if you're watching this video in the future, adventurers can now enter the purple crack in the Proudspire obelisk and discover the source of this corruption. Edgeville dungeon is incredibly ancient, once part of the Zerosian city of Padua. The main entrance is found in this ruined building in Edgeville, through a trapdoor tucked away behind a coffin. Just north of the entrance, on the western wall of the dungeon, there's this, a part of the stonework named Odd Looking Wall, with an option to push. If the adventurer does so, the odd-looking wall opens, revealing a secret room where 2 giant rats skulk. Bizarrely, there's no point in this hidden chamber. There are a few coins on the ground, some crates with nothing in them, and some chests with nothing in them either. There's something about hidden rooms like this that's always exciting. It feels very Zelda or Dark Souls, but there's just no reason to ever go here. I could probably dedicate an entire video to the enigma that is the Tower of Life, found just south of Ardoin. After completing the quest of the same name, the adventurer gains access to the basement level, where they can participate in the creature creation activity. There are a few weird things down here, like this equipment used by the alchemists to create the homunculus, and a magic well. But strangest of all is this little room in the north of the basement, an empty floor behind bars. If any of the tiles in this room are stepped on, they light up a bright blue, the same blue as the nearby magic well. Once the adventurer leaves the room, they'll say, "That was weird," and that's it. That's the entire purpose of this little room, one of the most confusing small corners of old school RuneScape. Dr. Ford was once a random event NPC before retiring to his surgery near Al-Kharid. Originally, he'd heal the adventurer for a small amount of HP and tell them about the time when he used to travel around Gielinor. However, when this area was updated, with the addition of the Giant's Foundry and the removal of clan wars, a giant hole appeared in Dr. Ford's tent, and this hole speaks. Dr. Ford will claim that he was drawn here. He heard it call to him, so he immediately gave up his profession and set up here. The voices tell him he's happy here, and he can continue his work. When the adventurer questions this, Dr. Ford will say that the hole speaks to me and I listen. It says I will do great things only if I listen. And it seems he's not crazy. The hole's examine info reads, Is that whispering I can hear? What this hole is, and why it whispers, remains unknown, but we can make some guesses. In RS3, this general area is where the Kharid Et dig site is found, the ruins of a great underground Zerosian fortress, potentially meaning that this voice is coming from this forgotten ruin. Or, perhaps more worryingly, this might be connected to something deeper, something darker, the same whispers that echo from the pit in Kamdazal, from the forsaken Lasar Undercity. For now, though, this remains an odd mystery. Thanks for watching this video, and a huge thank you for such an amazing response to my previous one, covering strange but inaccessible places in the game. Be sure to subscribe for more old school content. I'm really excited about the next video I'm working on, tackling one of the game's strangest mysteries in detail. Cheers guys, and I'll see you next time.